daunting foe to guard the peak of that mountain. But man, Syrup's been playing well enough to get guaranteed second place, so we'll have to see if he can make that a first.
I will start by saying, as welcome to Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my boy Stu. Not screaming, because I'll wake up my family, probably.
I love Stu.
Yeah, no, I love Stu. I was casting with him at DNA just the other night. Definitely one of the truest of homies. I was going to say, as amazing of a player as Syrup is, and we're going to see what he's going to be able to do against Rivers, Rivers is absolutely zero stranger to the Ness matchup at all. He originally hails from the great state of New Jersey, my home state. He's currently residing in Florida. The great Gonzalez, who was a former top 50 player in the world, used to main this character. He was one of the best Nesses in the world, pretty much, and so he played with Rivers on the regular, both in and out of tourney. And then even when he stopped playing Ness, there was another Ness player in New Jersey named Dark Matter who became the new best Ness in the state, who was a very talented player, got ranked multiple times as well. So that's another one that he played with on a regular basis. And to top all of that off, Rivers was actually considering maining Ness in this game very early on at the beginning of this game. He thought he had everything he needed. So,
oh my God,
all of those elements combined leads you to know that this guy, he knows a thing or two about the PK kid. So, have to work pretty hard.
Yeah, and he definitely knows a thing or two about using that Diddy up smash to secure that stock. It's just such a strong out of shield option and just burst with punish for Diddy, and it's already serving him well as he has a lead in this first game. And using that monkey flip kick like that in the center, we'll have to see if Syrup can catch on to that and call it out, because Rivers has been doing that a lot.
Oh, I love that up tilt. I love that up tilt so much. That was so smart. So many other Diddies would have just like back aired right there or something to try to start just a more of a basic back air, string combo, double back air, whatever. But my man Rivers, he not only had the patience to just like wait for Syrup to walk into that. He also had like the discipline to go for a weaker attack there, because he knew that in the long run he'd be able to get more off of it rather than just going for something like an up smash. Speaking of smash attacks, there's a forward smash off of the banana, not going to kill from center stage, though.
Yeah, that movement was so crisp. I can't believe that two framed. How did Ness's head like the size of the earth? Like, holy crap!
I mean, dude. Look, he's definitely like Jimmy Neutron in more ways than one. Not just because he's big brained, it's because he's also big headed. But dude, can we talk about that banana snipe off of the two frame?
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, Rivers is a master of this character. He knows exactly what to do with that banana.
Yes, he does.
Like the way he moves around with it and the way he gets extensions with it. Oh my gosh. You just know. You're intimidated just playing against him. Even if he's missing his stuff, you're just like, oh gosh, he knows what he's doing. Oh gosh, oh gosh.
Yeah, but that's the thing that you can never put in your head when you're fighting anybody, man. It doesn't matter if like somebody's the best player in the world or if they're like not one of your local players who doesn't normally do that well. If you tell yourself that this person is better than me, they are. That's just a defeatist attitude to go into, because you could like have know the matchup pretty well, or you could know something the other player don't, or hell, you could have just surpassed them in skill and you just don't even know yet, but you don't give yourself the chance because you keep telling yourself they're better than me, and as a result it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And Syrup, a player of his caliber, I hope he very much does not let that happen. But it's looking like he might, at least for this first game, because it's looking pretty rough for Syrup right now. 171 on his last stock. Yeah, that's it.
Not yet.
Yeah. I thought Power Throw would have done it there.
No, Diddy's throw's relatively weak unless you're like right at the ledge, but I mean, it was only a matter of time. Diddy, one of those characters that literally hits you till you die. Even if it's at 200, he's just winning neutral over and over and over and over again, and sometimes it's just hard to stop that bleeding.
Yeah, his punish game is just so immaculate. Like Rivers is the kind of player who he's a top player because he's not only very, very strong in one facet. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh my god, he has an insane punish game, better than any Diddy Kong I've ever seen, but then his neutral is like middle of the pack. You know? he's the kind of player who can be terrifying in more ways than one. Because like he can, depending on the matchup, he can be that Diddy that like has the banana in hand and just instills the fear of God in you, and just by doing nothing makes you pick all these really stupid options for him to be able to get these punishes. Or like depending on like the size of your character, just how he knows how you're going to be able to DI. He'll just be able to get some crazy punishes as well. He doesn't just shine in one facet; he shines in multiple facets and adapts to the right ones depending on the matchup he's playing. That's how you know this guy's like a seasoned veteran and a top player, rather than just like, for lack of a better term, like, you know, a one-trick pony or just like a gimmicky type. Because Diddy is not a gimmick.
I mean, like, Rivers has been playing this game for so long. It's no question how immaculate his skill is. Syrup, a newer player, relatively young, and just making his paving his path on the Wi-Fi results. So it's definitely a foreign situation for Syrup, but it's definitely an opportunity to learn, and he's keeping it fairly close here on this first stock. However, perfect. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it look so easy. I know we've been like gassing up Rivers a lot, but like he honestly, like, that's a risky thing, because if he messes that up, he dies.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, he does the kick, but you know.
Yeah, he's just been in that situation for so many times. He knows exactly when Ness has just exhausted all of his options and has to go for that up B. However, Diddy going for that up B is definitely not safe, as you can see there, taking very intense knockback out of those barrels. And Syrup able to perhaps pave a path into getting more than one stock off this game, perhaps even taking it. We'll have to see it as this match progresses.
Oh yeah, you know, as experienced as like Rivers is in this matchup, Syrup is an immensely talented player. That doesn't mean you can just sleep on every Ness, or, you know, just sleep on any player you wind up coming in around. We saw what Syrup can do. We saw how this man frankly destroyed, you know, Super Pie in that losing final set that we had earlier. And Super Pie is nothing to sleep on, to say the least. So how far up that ladder could like Rivers be? You know, at the very least, that's an amazing warm-up for Syrup to go in on, with a beautiful interception on that up air as well, double jumping around the banana in order to get though. But Rivers, with the patience of a saint, just waiting in the corner for Syrup to be above him, because he knew that he was applying the pressure and knew that if he just held that down long enough, he would eventually do something that was a semblance of unsafe, and the up smash would do it. Rivers going up 2-1 in stocks.
Yeah, Rivers going up 2-1, just hit the 3-digit mark on that percent, trying to rack up damage as much as possible before Ness inevitably gets that kill. However, I mean, Syrup's doing a good job of not getting hit too much, but suddenly just one monkey flip is all it takes, and now he's in a terrible position. Reversals?
Oh my god.
Man.
The coverage.
Like, it just seems like no matter where Syrup goes, Rivers has an answer for it.
I mean, hey, Diddy is, you know, the monkey can technically be in two places at once, because he's got an item that he can just use to cover other areas. Part of the reason that, you know, him as a character with his neutral can just be so overwhelming is just he can spawn that and then just either use it as like for ledge coverage, use it as just like an aggressive tool, you know, to try to just keep pressure on and make combos with Z drops and whatnot, or at the very least just hold it in neutral and use it to hold down the neutral and intimidate your opponent into doing just a bad option. The banana just opens up so many avenues, and it always has since this character's debut in Brawl way back in 2008. But Diddy's certainly changed a lot since then.
And 2008. How could it have been that long ago? I'm mad.
Yeah, Brawl really came out like about 12, almost 13 years ago, actually. Jeez. It was this month, actually. It's actually in 10 days.
Oh my gosh.
10 days is like the 13th anniversary of Brawl, at the very least in America.
Jeez. Both these characters actually appearing in that game. Syrup was able to hold down during his up B in order to get a surprise counter hit on Rivers during his ledge trap. It's looking a little scary. Oh my gosh. No, Syrup can definitely do this. This is really close.
This is this last stock, my friend. You got to be careful. This is maximum rage. Back air going to do it. With a little tip of the hat, Coily is as Diddy Kong will back air that kid into oblivion. He needs only one more to finish this in a 3-0 fashion as seeded and win this tournament as seeded, like I mentioned, unless Syrup has got something to say about that.
Yeah, it was definitely looking a lot closer, that match. Syrup definitely making good adaptations in between games, so hopefully the gap can close a little more and we can see more of this match. But Rivers just relying on that Mario-esque back air that Diddy has, just able to throw that out 2 in a short hop, or as many as you want in the full hop, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, you know, something about red hats that make you able to do like 2 of those in a short hop, but I mean, you know, even Ness can be on that train as well, you know, he can just, I don't think he can do 2 in a short hop, but he can sort of start, he can start his back air and then he'll land with it, I think, but the hitbox won't come out, so he can't really do it, but he at the very least can start his back air.
At the very least, he can do rising back air to instant nair, so he can do 2 aerials in the short hop, just not necessarily 2 back airs.
Not to mention the PSI magnet, you know, which he can use to stall himself in order to get another one.
Ooh.
What a crazy, what a crazy wake-up option in the barrel. I didn't get uppy out of shield. Is this a Mario?
Oh, gosh!
Uppy out of shield with Diddy Kong, okay.
Yeah, and Syrup, first time in the match, getting a lead.
Yeah,
we've seen Rivers do this before, where he's come back from situations like this, but Syrup definitely looking a little different in this game.
I mean, yeah, he is. This is the first time he's had a lead throughout this set so far. It's not something you can say about those 2 other games, and now he's got Banana in hand. Keeping that pressure on, actually catching Rivers swinging a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, this whole game ain't looking too good so far, but that up smash, not gonna do it yet, but keeping the pressure on. In his advantage state is Rivers. And another up smash out of shield right there, out of the PSI magnet to be able to get it. He's not going to survive another one of those. But he will survive a back air from the platform, I gotta say, but the forward air is not going to do it. I gotta say, man, throughout all these final sets, losers finals as well, can we talk about Syrup's DI?
Yeah, Syrup, honestly, just an expert of survivability, has just been living way past you would expect a small child to live, you know? Like, man.
Yeah. You would think due to his, like, size, and it's the fact that he's a little boy. Would have,
he was able to grab ledge.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, Syrup's gonna get the stock, but, like, Rivers just sneaking by over and over again. I mean, definitely familiar with the matchup, but this is a mountain to climb.
Yeah, there's not, a lot of Diddy players, they like to avoid using monkey flip to recover as much as they can. It can make your recovery a little predictable. You can intercept it if the Diddy is not going to whip out the kick, and if you know he's going to do the kick, you can just follow him to where he's going to be and then punish him accordingly. The barrels, on the other hand, give you a whole semblance of mobility to be able to make it back, and even if you crash with the barrels, but you land on stage somehow, you'll still be able to control them manually as you get back onto the stage to get some pretty cheeky kills with it, as we've definitely seen in Rivers' montages.
Oh my gosh, Syrup trying to hold down in order to counter hit Rivers again. I mean, this is slowly getting away from Rivers. Syrup is definitely packing on the pressure and packing on the safe gameplay too, just occasionally just retreating and holding nothing, just waiting for Rivers to act.
Yeah, and like, what reason would he have really not to do that? You're Ness, you know, you're not always the greatest at approaching. Your opponent knows what you're doing, but that's not gonna matter at all, because this third game is over. Syrup with the Z-drop banana 2 forward smash. I didn't even know Ness could do that.
I mean, like, even the rising nair at the beginning to catch a potential ledge hop, there were so many options covered, and, like, Syrup had such a big lead that he was just... That was just... Oh my gosh, I can't even, like... I can't stress that enough. That was a brilliant play. Like...
It really was, honestly. I mean, and that's just really good that he knows how to, like, do something like that, and while he's the one who has the lead. You know what I mean? It's like he was the one who didn't have to approach. He was the one who was up, and he was doing a really great job at, like, sort of prolonging his advantage there and getting the insurance he needed, as well as just securing his advantage state as best as he could. What was I going to say? I had, like, some other observation about that. Yeah, he was the one who didn't have to. You know, like, the lead was just slowly slipping away from Rivers because, like, Syrup was just the one who was just really slowly tacking on the damage because he had no real reason to approach the Diddy. Ness, if he's not careful, his approaches can get called out pretty badly. So that's not something that you want to have happen to you, obviously, if you're the Ness player. And so why even sort of create that, why even, you know, risk that situation ever happening in the first place if you're up a whole stock?
Yeah.
Like, why approach
I mean, definitely the brilliance of this kid is showing through because he has made excellent adaptations in order to take another game. However, he's still got to take 2 more and then another set. So the marathon is not over, and Rivers is going to make this exceedingly difficult, especially with this powerful lead. Oh my gosh.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, wow. I mean, great magnet trip to get out of that situation. Syrup trying to start some crazy stuff of his own. And great, yo-yo. That's going to be tough to avoid, but Rivers with the perfect angle on that rocket barrels and still has this lead. The trip into the F smash. This is a tense game 4.
Yeah, that was all Rivers could do to make it back to the stage. He really had no choice but to get hit by that yo-yo there, lest he just like wind up above Ness and then still get hit by it on the way back. And then his only option was to do a second up B, and he did it to just the right amount of charge to be able to grab the ledge again. And then the fact that he was able to run up and get that stock because of it off of the down tilt trip was something else entirely, man. This guy is on right now.
Yeah, absolutely on. Syrup still mitigating the damage, however, in between stocks. 113. Oh my gosh, catching a DI mix-up there. I mean, maybe Rivers expecting to be sent forward, and then that up smash just sending him straight up. He was not ready for that at all, and Syrup is still back in this.
That he is, my friend. That he is. It's only about a 50% differential. That is nothing that Ness can't make up with just one touch, with just one combo. But apparently Rivers is going to have something to say about that beforehand, getting a combo of his own and just tacking on that insurance. And now he is Diddy in neutral with a banana in hand, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the most terrifying things in this game for you to deal with, especially when the stage is so big like this, where you can't even like have like, you know, that short of a space to really try and just like break through, you know what I mean? You just have all this space that he's basically just controlling, which ideally is actually better, but either way, it really doesn't matter the size of the stage. If Diddy has banana in the hand, it's terrifying, but who knows? Maybe if it's bigger, that Syrup would just, you know, be happier that he has more space to just sort of work around it, but all that space is not going to matter if you get hit by banana to forward smash. 2-1 in the favor of Rivers. He's one stock away from winning Fusion 63.
Yeah, Rivers just tightening up the hatches. I mean, like, this is just... The screws are tightening. The final product is coming out today. Rivers does not want Syrup to get any more momentum in this match, and it is showing.
Yeah, Rivers is definitely on right now. You can tell by how aggressive he's playing. He knows that these options, you got to be feeling yourself in a certain type of way to be able to do like these kind of crazy, mashy, aggressive options against a Ness player. And then one of the best ones in the world, to say the least. So this is how you know Rivers is definitely on right now. He's just doing such a wonderful job at not only picking options that are going to work, but just safe options that in case they don't work,
oh my gosh,
you have covered. And speaking of coverage, the lingering hitbox of the Diddy Kong monkey flip kick is the final hit of the evening for you guys.